Welcome back, guys. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can increase your bench press. So me and Tom will get asked a lot in the TikTok comments when we're live streaming our workout, how can someone increase their bench and what are the exercises in the gym that you can be doing to increase your bench. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the exercises me and Tom will do during our chest days to help work towards a bigger bench. Yeah, Tom's hands are a little shaky because we just got done with the workout, but we keep fucking forgetting to record the video. But after being asked again, we decided to go ahead and get it out of the way. So one of the things we're going to start off with is the triceps. So on arm day, this is what we hit on triceps with the dip bar. Straight up and down, going down, right back up. As soon as you hit 90 degrees, you're going right back up. Now I'm going to demonstrate chest day. So on chest day, we're going to wind up getting on the dip bar. We're going to lean forward with our chest going more forward, our feet and lower body going backwards. So let's demonstrate that. So this is being arm day. Now we're doing chest day. And this is really going to activate your lower chest. So this is really going to work your triceps. So what we do is we have chest day twice a week. At the beginning of our workout routine for the week, we'll hit chest. And then at the end of our workout routine for that week, we hit chest again. So we're hitting chest twice a week. And that's given the most time for recovery by having it at the beginning and having it at the end of the workout split for that week. Now, one of those days is more of a lighter day. One of the days is more of a heavier day. So you're really focusing on getting close to a 1 rep max for that day on the heavy day and kind of trying to stop around 70 to 80% on that lighter day. In the lighter day, you're going to be worried about speed and intensity and really getting that good drive up. So you're going to be working with about 50% of your max and doing sets of 5. You also want to be doing some sets of 3 as heavy as you can with leaving 1 in the tank. And we'll go to flat in just a second. But that's kind of how our routine works. So we're hitting triceps 3 times a week in total. Once every chest day, we're hitting 2 sets for 12 reps. Leaning forward again on chest days. It's going to activate your lower chest. It's going to build this lower shelf, bring your chest up. It's also activating your triceps. You're focusing on your triceps more on arm day, however, and that's why you're doing your dips, being more right up, being more straight up on your dips on arm day, and you're leaning forward more on your chest day. Now that we've kind of hit on dips, we're going to go over to our flat bench. What can we do on flat bench that will actually increase our bench? So for flat bench, as you can see on the ground right here, so as you can see right here, we got chains, and we actually have 2 chains here. Now, in a more, as you can see, it's kind of a garage gym, so we have chains. Now, if you're in more of a nicer commercial gym, you might have benches that have pegs that are coming out the side of them, or on the rack where you can put things that look like these. These are resistant bands. You might have some in your gym, and you might have the ability to use resistant bands, so that's called banded bench. And so it's just the same as chains. You're going to put the bands in those pegs, run them underneath it, and you're going to hook them on top of your bar outside of your weight. And that's going to give you resistance. Chains are the same way. They work the same way as bands. However, I enjoy chains more than bands. It's up to personal preference and what works for you. So right now I got 225 loaded with the chains. The chains are on the outside. We have 1 pair of chains. These chains are pretty heavy. So we're going to wind up adding about 50 pounds at lockout. As you're going down with the weight, the chains are hitting the ground. They're coiling up on the ground. When the chains hit the ground, it's relieving the weight off the bar because it's already on the ground. It's not suspended. You're not holding that weight. So as I go down, that 50 pounds at lockout is becoming less and less as I'm going down. And when I start for my chest, it's less than 50 pounds added onto the weight. So when I'm starting here, it's not 50 pounds. When I'm getting closer to lockout, that's when I'm getting closer to 50 pounds. And that's what's going to happen at lockout is I'm going to be holding that extra 50 pounds of weight. What this means is when the bar's coming off your chest and you're pressing the weight up, the weight is increasing the closer you get to locking out. A lot of you may find or have experienced in the gym when you're going for a bench max or when you're doing a heavy set that you're finding the bars getting to a sticking point, and it may be 1/4 of the way off your chest. It may be halfway, right there almost near lockout. Wherever that sticking point may be, chains and banded bench is what's going to help you push through that, because when you have this extra weight coming as you're getting closer to the lockout, you're going to really fatigue those muscles that are really engaging more in the lockout. So if you just do 225 without chains, you're going to just be fatigued and you're going to wind up just stopping at your chest. But with this, you'll have less weight at the bottom at the start to help you push through and drive. It's really going to help you work on that sticking point and help you be able to lock out better in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and talk through this demonstration, then we're going to cut to some demonstration by Tomlin and by me. And the more advanced you get, the more you can do. So you'll see here soon me doing 315 with some chains. Same like flat bench. If you want to know how to bench, look up the bench tutorial. Right over my chest, down, the weight's getting less. Now I'm gonna press up. Weight gets heavier as I get closer to lockout. Do not try this at home, motherfuckers. Also, little safety note. Without chains, you could dump the weight off. You could tilt the bar, let the weight slide off. Sometimes the plates will get stuck. So it's always safe, and it's better to have a spotter when you're using chains or you're using bands. It's sometimes it can be even more dangerous using chains or bands than it would be just doing normal flat bench. So you need to exercise safety with this. Sometimes if you use chains, especially if you make them like we did right here, if you try to dump the weight, it'll move and it'll lock it. You won't be able to slide that plate off and you'll see it stuck. So you'll be stuck underneath the weight. So it's always good to have someone down here with you when you're benching.
Now, if you get stuck and you're like, you can't move it, this is what you do. You just press the weight.
Okay, so for those that grip a little bit closer, that's where triceps gonna come in more. So let me demonstrate real quick so you get a perspective of it. Most people that are gripping the bar are gonna find the smooth knurling right here, the smooth part within the knurling. And they're gonna wind up grabbing with their index finger at a wide grip. Sometimes you'll put your pinky there for a little bit more narrow, but I wind up doing a little bit closer grip right here. And if you want to know why, go look at the other bench tutorial, but this is a closer grip. Some people grip even closer. I like being about midway between the really soft part of the bar and the knurling. So I'm getting right here with my grip. And this is going to activate way more tricep than it would if I was out here and really wide with it. Another thing is your elbows should be close to your body if you want to activate more triceps. If you want to be more wide with it, usually your elbows will flare out like this. Keep those elbows close and tucked to really activate those triceps during the bench press. All right, for the next exercise, we're going to focus on 2 exercises. So you're going to wind up finding some dumbbells, and you're going to wind up doing lateral, which is out here, out by your side, and frontal. So you got lateral and frontal raises, and usually me and Tom will do 2 sets of 12, and we wind up doing them back-to-back supersetting. So we wind up doing 12 lateral and 12 frontal raises, and then we'll rest and we'll do it again. We usually do that on our arm day. Our arm day is our accessory day, so we're doing lat pull downs, we're working our back, we're working our biceps, working our triceps, doing a lot of accessory movements that are neglected, especially in a lot of powerlifting splits. We wind up having 1 arm day, which is our accessory day as well, during our workout split, and it gives us a little bit of time to rest and recover from those compound movements, but it also gives us time to focus on the stabilizer muscles and the small things that equivalent to the strength and moving a lot of weight in the gym. So your lateral and frontal raises are really going to work your shoulders. It's not only will it build up your shoulders and make you look wider and blow up your delts, but it's also going to work on your rotator cuffs. So your rotator cuffs are going to get stronger and your stabilizer muscles are going to get more adapted to having strain and weight in compromising positions. And this is really, especially those frontals, are really going to transfer over to your bench press, because how many times, especially even now, I'm sure you could see me and Tomlin shaking a little bit when we were demonstrating, because we just put our bodies through a killer bench day, a killer chest day, and we're shaking. And that's because our stabilizer muscles are already burned out, so we can't even stay stable with it anymore. So work on your lateral and frontal raises, and that's going to transfer over to not only stability, but also strength on the flat bench. The weight should be low until you get enough experience with doing the lateral and frontal raises. So I usually go for 20s. I can probably do like 30s with good form, but there's no point in me going so far up, especially if you are working out intensely, if you are a power lifter, if you are working for that 1 rep max, you're likely to have fatigued stabilizers and fatigued rotator cuffs. So you don't want to get them so fatigued that you increase the chance for injury. So I usually stick to 20s that are pretty easy for me to do now. I started out at 10s. There's no shame in starting out at a lighter weight, getting good form and building up good stability with your muscles. You don't want to play around with your rotator cuffs. So we usually wind up doing 12 lateral raises. You don't have to go really above where I'm going with these, you want to try not to swing, and you want to try to stand up as straight as possible. Then we superset with our front. And sometimes if you feel like you're not getting enough, I will do a little bit out to the side, a hybrid. And that way you're getting a good burn, and you're getting good mobility with your shoulders, and you're really hitting all the range of movement that you would be doing on a bench or on a press and movement. Even if it's overhead press or incline bench or flat bench, no matter the press and movement, this is gonna transfer over to those. So maybe you're wondering about incline and decline. Well, I'm about to fucking show you. I'm gonna show incline with the barbell, and then Tom's gonna demonstrate with the dumbbell. I think both are good. I like utilizing both. I like utilizing dumbbell on my chest days that are my light days, and I like using the barbells on my heavier days. I think you get benefits from both that are just a little bit different. I feel like dumbbells are more for aesthetics and bodybuilding because you get a good stretch. I get way better pump with dumbbells, but I also feel like they build up more stability because you're holding the weight and it's not a barbell. The barbell does work as stabilizers, but you can do more weight with them, and I think it can transfer over to a little bit more strength on flat bench. So I think it's good to utilize both. Now, decline bench I used when I was younger, really to build up this lower shelf, because I had a flabby lower chest, especially coming when I was younger. When I was like 13, I was chubby, I was wanting to lean down, so I was really trying to tone up this lower chest. And so I'd utilize decline. But after utilizing decline for a few years, I didn't really see a lot of strength come over to my flat bench or my other movements from using decline. Let alone did I see a really significant change in my lower chest. It did help, it does work. However, I found more benefits in dips on my chest days when I'm leaning forward more. And I find that doing dips for 2 sets of 12, 3 times out of my workout split of the week, doing straighter on arm day and leaning forward on my chest days, I find it works my lower shelf more. And I think I have a more defined chest now than I did when I was doing decline twice a week. So I'm gonna demonstrate incline bench press real quick. And I think that this will help with more strength gains. And I think for aesthetics and for a little bit more stability, I think you should utilize the dumbbells as well. On YouTube, you'll see a lot of YouTubers stop about right here. There's nothing wrong with that. I think full range of motion is the best though, especially when you're working on stabilizers and overall just strength. So we wind up working to a little bit of a heavy set, and we wind up doing 2 sets of 5. Now on dumbbell, we wind up doing 2 sets, about 12 to 15 reps with moderate to heavy weight. Notice how Tom was getting good range of motion going all the way down to his chest, and notice how his dumbbells are turned outward like a bar. So Tom, where do you feel it with dumbbells when comparing it to incline?
Dumbbells, normally, I feel it like normally where you would get stretch marks at.
So in the insertion points to the chest?
Yeah, because you're getting a wider stretch.
So you're feeling more down here, and then with incline, are you feeling it more up towards the top of your chest?
Yes, like top part of it, yeah.
So that covers the major exercises for increasing your bench. Now, I want to go over some honorable mentions that I think could really help if you could utilize them within your workout. So for our accessory day, we also hit back. We're hitting everything on accessory day and arm day that we don't hit with the compound movements. And if we are hitting with the compound movements, we're really focused on them. So we're going to do a lat pull down to really work out not only your lats, but your back. You can also do it with a pull-up bar if you don't have access to a pull-up bar or a tree. You can look up our home workout video tutorial to see how to use a tree or pipe or whatever you got to be able to do pull-ups and chin-ups. But the pull-ups are really going to work your lats, and it's going to work your back. And you should be able to feel your back in your bench press. So you're using your back as well as your chest and your arms and your triceps to push that weight. So if you build up your back with rows, lat pull downs, and pull-ups, you're really setting your back up for a good potential to aid in your bench press. So we're going to go over what I think is one of the most important lifts out of all those 3, and that's going to be the lat pull downs with rows coming in right behind them. Really focusing on that squeeze in your back. Bringing it down to your chest.
That way you can explain not leaning back so far.
These are rows. I'll demonstrate them real quick. They're already set up. So we're keeping our elbows tucked to our body. We're extending out. squeezing our back, and we're trying to keep a pencil behind our back, in between our shoulder blades, and we're trying to pinch it. All right, so these are our tricep extensions. We're gonna wind up getting close, relatively close underneath the bar, and we're gonna go straight down and fully extend. Now you don't wanna have to go all the way back up. That relieves the tension off the triceps. So to keep that tension, we're gonna go down, we're gonna stop halfway, right there at that 90-degree angle, push all the way down, locking out that elbow. Now, if you lean forward more, it'll take weight off your triceps, and you'll be using your body weight to push down the weight. So you wanna make sure you're keeping pretty straight up, bend forward just a little bit, and lift. So Tom's gonna demonstrate skull crushers, and it's gonna really utilize the triceps. I think they're the best exercise you can do for your triceps outside of tricep extensions and dips.
So it's two different variations of skull crushers. You can go straight to your forehead, which that's where it gets its name, the skull crushers, or you can go right over the top of your head and really work your triceps. Both target the triceps a little bit differently. So if you want to do one set one way and one set the other way, that's fine. A lot of people will get personal preferences to do them one way.
As you saw in the skull crushers, there's two variations of it. Some people will prefer one way, some people prefer the other. I don't think there's anything wrong with either of them. If you want to utilize one for one set, that's fine. If you want to utilize another for the other, that's completely fine. If you want to just stick to one and you enjoy that one more and you feel like it hits your tricep better, stick to it. I stick to one variation. I like going straight to my forehead and straight back up. I feel like when I was going over the top of my head, I build up tennis elbow way quicker than if I go to my forehead. If you do feel tennis elbow flaring up, stop doing skull crushers. Do different movements. Give your elbows a break. Sometimes you continuously hit arms and bench and you're really using your elbows and you're straining them and you're stressing them out. You will flare up tennis elbow. Don't neglect the inflammation and the pain coming from that. I learned the lesson the hard way by continuously trying to push through it. It just gets worse and worse. Take time off those movements, swap them in, swap them out with other movements. If you notice that you can't keep good form in skull crushers, you're probably doing too much weight. It's okay to go lighter. If the lighter you go, the more you can slow down the exercise and really control the movement and get a good squeeze out of the movement. The more heavy you go, the more strength oriented you're focusing on. I kind of go a little bit heavy on my skull crushers. We usually wind up doing 45s, 35s on our skull crushers, going about 12 to 15 reps for 5 sets. Hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Hope you guys have a good morning, a good night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.